Every year, people around the world squeeze out billions of bottles of one simple red condiment, and one company, Heinz, alone, produces more than 650 million bottles annually just in the United States. It sits in nearly every refrigerator on the planet, yet almost nobody stops to ask what actually happens before that thick red sauce reaches the table. How does a soft, fragile fruit that spoils within days become a shelf-stable product that can last for more than a year without refrigeration? The answer involves science, engineering, and a level of industrial precision most people never imagine. In the next few minutes, we are going inside the factory floor, tracing the journey from sun-soaked fields to the squeeze bottle in your kitchen, revealing the hidden machinery, the chemistry, and the sheer scale required to keep the world supplied with its favorite condiment. The story of this condiment stretches back centuries, long before it resembled anything we would recognize today. Its roots trace to a fermented fish sauce called ketchup, used in parts of Southeast Asia and southern China as early as the 1600s. European traders encountered the sauce and carried the idea home, experimenting with mushrooms, walnuts, and eventually tomatoes as a base. Tomatoes were once viewed with suspicion in parts of Europe, sometimes believed to be poisonous because they belonged to the nightshade family. It was not until the early 1800s that tomato-based versions became popular in the United States. And by the 1870s, entrepreneurs began bottling and selling it commercially. Advances in vacuum sealing and pasteurization transformed a homemade sauce into a mass-produced product, setting the stage for the modern factories that now churn out the condiment non-stop every single day of the year. It all begins in the field, months before a single bottle is filled. Specially bred processing tomatoes, different from the ones sold whole in grocery stores, are grown across warm, sun-drenched regions such as California, which produces roughly 90% of the tomatoes processed in the United States. These plants are bred to be dense, meaty, and low in water content, ideal for concentrating into paste. Farmers plant tens of thousands of acres, and mechanical harvesters roll through the fields at harvest time, capable of gathering enormous quantities of tomatoes in a single pass. A single processing plant can receive more than 2,000 tons of tomatoes in one day during peak harvest season, arriving in convoys of trucks that never seem to stop. Once harvested, the tomatoes must be processed within hours to preserve freshness, so the logistics chain from field to factory is tightly timed and remarkably efficient. When the trucks arrive, the tomatoes are dumped into large flumes filled with flowing water, which gently transports them into the facility while washing away dirt and debris. Inspectors and optical sorting machines scan the stream at high speed, removing stems, leaves, and any tomatoes that do not meet quality standards. From there, the tomatoes move along conveyor belts into massive cookers, where heat begins breaking down the fruit into pulp. Steam rises in thick clouds above the machinery as the temperature climbs, softening the flesh so it can be separated from skins and seeds. The plant operates around the clock, with workers in hairnets and protective gear monitoring gauges, walking catwalks above roaring machinery and inspecting samples for consistency. The scale is staggering, with some processing facilities transforming enough tomatoes to produce well over 1 million pounds of finished paste in a single day. After cooking, the pulp passes through fine screens and extractors that separate juice and flesh from skins and seeds, producing a smooth liquid base. This liquid then enters massive evaporators, where much of the water content is removed under controlled heat and vacuum pressure, thickening the mixture into a rich, concentrated tomato paste. The paste can be stored in enormous aseptic tanks or shipped to other facilities for the next stage. When it is time to become the finished condiment, the paste is blended with vinegar, sugar, salt, and a proprietary mix of spices such as onion powder, garlic powder, and clove, all measured with exacting precision using automated dosing systems. Giant stainless steel mixing vats, some holding thousands of gallons. Blend the ingredients until the texture and flavor match strict internal standards developed over generations of recipe refinement. Consistency matters enormously at this stage, since every bottle sold anywhere in the world must taste identical. Sensors continuously measure viscosity, ensuring the sauce flows at the correct thickness, neither too watery nor too stiff to pour. The mixture passes through fine homogenizers that break down any remaining particles, creating that smooth, glossy texture consumers expect. From the mixing vats, the sauce travels through stainless steel pipes to filling machines that operate at extraordinary speed, capable of filling and capping thousands of bottles every hour. Each bottle is filled to a precise volume, whether it is a small glass container or a large plastic squeeze bottle, and computerized systems check fill levels using weight sensors and cameras to catch even the smallest inconsistency before it reaches a customer. Before any bottle leaves the facility, it must pass rigorous quality control. Samples are pulled regularly from the production line and tested for acidity, sugar content, color, and thickness using laboratory equipment. Food scientists check that the pH level remains low enough to prevent bacterial growth, which is part of what makes the product shelf-stable. Sealed bottles are also tested for leaks, since even a tiny gap could allow contamination. Some facilities perform pressure tests on caps to confirm they will hold up during shipping and storage. Taste panels sample batches to confirm flavor consistency, comparing them against a master reference sample stored under controlled conditions. This meticulous testing process is why the flavor from one bottle rarely differs from another, no matter where in the world it was produced. Interestingly, other iconic condiments follow strikingly different manufacturing paths. Mustard, for example, relies on grinding whole seeds rather than cooking down a fruit, while mayonnaise depends on carefully emulsifying oil and egg without ever applying heat at all. Stay tuned, because a future episode will take you inside the fascinating process behind one of these condiments and reveal just how different their journeys really are. Once bottled, the containers move through automated labeling machines that apply branding with remarkable accuracy, followed by robotic arms that pack them into cardboard cases. These cases are then stacked onto pallets by more robotic systems, often shrink-wrapped for stability during transport. It is a story of agriculture, chemistry, engineering, and relentless attention to consistency, all working together to deliver the same familiar taste, bottle after bottle, year after year. So the next time you squeeze that bottle onto your fries or burger, think about the thousands of tomatoes, the roaring machinery, and the meticulous testing that made it possible. Do you prefer the classic version, or do you reach for a spicier variation? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed going behind the scenes today, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more journeys inside the factories that make our favorite everyday products.